What's up, trail hoppers? Welcome back to another episode of Hopping the Trails with the Hopkins. In this week's episode, we are going to dive into a great upgrade for our RV, where we replace our old stock lead acid battery with the new Goldenmate Orion 1000 battery. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery, so it should definitely improve our power and performance. So if you're interested in a boost, stick around for this week's episode of Hopping the Trails with the Hopkins. Let's ride. So you may be wondering why we have decided to replace our old stock lead acid battery. Well, the answer is simple. When we were out camping on our last adventure, there was a power outage at the park. The good thing though is our system and our refrigerator runs off of 12 volt. The bad part is that the current battery that we have did not stand the test of time. Within 1 hour of the power being out, our refrigerator went into default and we had a tremendous amount of problems getting it back online. We tested our old lead acid battery and some of the cells were bad. It was not getting a good charge, even though we have a solar charger that's supposed to keep the battery charged. When we are not connected to shore power, it just wasn't functioning correctly. So we were able to get our friends over at Goldenmate to send us this new Orion 1000, and that's what we're going to get connected for you guys today. We're going to do a quick unboxing, show you what the battery looks like, then we're going to get it hooked up. Let's ride.
All right, trail hopper, so straight away I want to talk about the weight of the battery. The Orion 1000 is incredibly lightweight compared to the traditional lead acid batteries. You know, the weight of this battery comes in just under 25 pounds or so, making it easy to handle, and it's going to be super easy to install this battery. The next thing I want to talk about is the LCD panel. The LCD panel allows for you to monitor the battery straight from the display there. It has a smart monitoring feature with a whole bunch of security features for the battery that control like overheating and those type of things. It also is fast charging with a maximum charge of 100 amp hours. And the 100 amp hours for us is going to come really handy when we're out there boondocking on the trails. The built-in features of the BMS in terms of the battery management, kicks in to help you protect the overcharging, the overheating, and the short circuiting. So this overall, from what I can tell, straight out the box, is going to be a great addition to our RV. Let's ride.
So with our old stock lead acid battery, we have it here installed into this battery case. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and get our old lead acid battery removed. We'll get the case removed, and then we will get our new Orion 1000 battery installed. So we're going to go ahead and get our power disconnected here at our 12 volt distribution box, and we are going to get the power turned all the way off so that we can safely get our old battery removed and get our new battery installed. All right, so we got all of the power turned off and disconnected so we can safely remove this battery. And so we're just using a 14 millimeter to get this old battery out. So we'll get the negative disconnected and the positive. Removed. Now we'll get the positive. All right, so we got our negative and positive removed, and we'll get this old one taken out. So our old battery case is held in by two screws down there. You can see them down there at the bottom, right there, and right back over here. And so we will get those removed so we can get this old battery case off of here. We have a new one on order, but the Orion 1000 does have a IP67 waterproof case, so it could probably stand the elements on its own, but just for security purposes, we will put it in another battery case just to mask what we have going on. So we will get this old case removed so that we can get the battery in place and get it installed. All right, so we have our new Goldenmate Orion 1000 battery installed. And as you can see here, our cables were a little short. So what we are going to do is get some longer cables so we can get the battery secured into the battery location securely. But we are currently camping for the next 4 days, so we got a little bit of time to get that resolved, and then we will have it installed properly. As you can see, the Goldenmate has a display on the top there. The Orion 1000, that is, has a display on the top showing the battery percentage. Currently, we are at 82% with an input of 68 watts. And so we're currently connected to shore power. So we're going to get the battery topped off so that we can do our testing this evening, where we are going to simulate a blackout at the park. We are going to be running strictly off of 12-volt power, so we will only have our refrigerator running because that's what's important to us. So all right, trail hoppers, so we are now on the inside of our RV, and what we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to simulate power failure on our shore power to kick over to the Orion 1000 and see how it does with an 8-hour consumption test. And basically we're going to be running our refrigerator and maybe one 12-volt light just to see how it does. The solar charger and everything is currently disabled, and so it's just going to be just the battery. And so we want to see how it does. Hopefully our refrigerator does not go into default and we have to reset it, but we'll know fairly quickly if that will be the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to go outside, we're going to turn off the shore power and kick over to the battery. Let's ride. All right, trail hoppers. So we did our power test here where we cut off the shore power, and now we are running strictly off of the battery. For the sake of this test, we are simply running our refrigerator as well as one light, but we'll probably be turning that off here shortly. So what we're going to do is, let me get the app pulled up here and we'll show you what we got going on. All right. So here on the app, as you can see here, our battery percentage is 98%, and it shows our voltage there of 13.2 volts. And currently it is discharging in a discharge state, and it's using about 5.1 amps. So with this particular battery, we should be able to get 100 amp hours out of it. And so the endurance time right now looks like 18.9 hours. So we're going to run this again for about 8 hours or so just off the batteries, and we will see how the battery performs. And so we will be back with you guys here in about 8 hours, and we'll take a look at our results. Let's ride. All right, trail hoppers, so we are about 7 hours into our consumption test, and let's go ahead and hop on to the app here. And so on the app here, we can see that we're down to 67%. We started right around 98%, so just a little over 30% of the battery used. Currently it's showing that we're using about 4.9 amps, 62.7 watts, and we still have about 13 hours left in terms of battery life. So I checked our refrigerator. Our refrigerator is still nice and cold. It's running as normal, and it did not go into default. I must say that this Orion 1000
is the perfect battery for our situation, especially if we're going to be out there boondocking. We probably will end up adding a second one and put them in parallel just so we can double those amp hours for our situation when we're out there on the trails. And so we will go ahead and get this test wrapped up, and then we'll come back to you guys with a final thought. Let's ride.
All right, trail hoppers. So my final thoughts on the Goldenmate Orion 1000 lithium iron phosphate battery is that it stands out as a robust and reliable energy solution, particularly in our applications when we are out on the trails boondocking and we require long-lasting power and efficiency. Another feature for consideration for us is that this battery has the capability to be expanded to a 4 PS configuration, giving us 5,120 watt hours or 400 amp hours. This capacity will help us very well as we're out there on the trails and we're trying to expand our solar solution. So if you enjoyed this episode of Hopping the Trails with the Hopkins, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, let's ride.